Welcome back to Coriander Society Adventures. Joining us once again, Beatdown Boulevard. You know,
I never fixed your tag. Like, I've been calling you the right name, but your tag is still messed up.
Why would you interrupt yourself?
Wait, it's right. Well, no, it's right if you're talking about my
yeah,
Twitter.
because that's your Twitter handle. Right, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, I feel better about myself.
Ninja Man Matt and Pods of War.
What's up, everybody?
That was awesome.
That was the longest name I've ever heard. That was like almost a full conversation of name.
You know, the more adventures you go on, the more names you acquire. It's why you don't get to walk around saying, I have many names, unless you've earned all those names.
That's true. That's true. Those are always the best name dropping.
Yeah. For those of you just joining us, whether it be now at this very exact moment or in the grim darkness of the far future in a VOD, this is the Coriander Society Adventures Chapter 1 Epilogue. In our last adventure, our heroes defended the Donahue Institute for Gifted Youngsters from the biggest Xorbot ever. It was sent in revenge by Dr. Zorbius Brandt to recapture Florence Giotto, the daughter of Lincoln Giotto, the crime boss who has a magical gift, a supernatural gift, and had been rescued/stolen by our heroes. And also to try to capture all the gifted heroes at the school. Our team, 1-2 punch, defeated the Xorbot. They climbed inside and punched it in the brain, and Gastone set off an EMP. But during this gigantic battle, a lot of the heroes of Northport united in order to stop the huge robot walking across the city, frying things with the heat ray. The heroes of the Action Bunch showed up. I can't call them. There is actually a group called the Action Team, which is why I've been switching away, even though Action Team sounds a lot better. But I digress. The Action Team showed up, and a mysterious inventor who flies an experimental craft, who's been reported from time to time. People have sent in reports of strange wings over the airport on this side of town. Somebody who was only supposed to show up to mysteriously assist and then vanish away like Tuxedo Mask. But was thwarted by Gastone's EMP and crash landed into the Institute and has just revealed himself to be Gastone's half-brother. That's where we left off. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. There's a little bit of this and that going on.
Oh, here we are. Yes. Upper right for those looking for it.
Oh, wow.
What?
I'll abduct this there. Wow, 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 wow.
There we go.
All right, so Everett, the student of the Institute whose gift is machine empathy, the ability to communicate with and even control machines with his mind, is here. Vector, who it turns out is your half-brother. We've got, of course, John, Asena, and Gastone, and Haura, the headmistress of the school. When we return to our scene, soap opera style, Vector has just crumbled under intense interrogation by all of you, revealing himself to be Gastone's half-brother. The rest of the group is just sort of standing around slack-jawed, and at that moment, Haura, who's been watching this whole thing and helping with the ship, she is surprisingly strong, oddly strong, has just been called away urgently by the people who are fixing the rest of the mansion and recovering from the Xorbot attack. So she heads off to go deal with whatever else is going on. The onus of the action is on our heroes. What would you like to do?
What do we do about my half-brother?
You should probably go talk to him.
Yeah. Good point. Find out why he's been tracking you and so interested in your well-being, but without letting you know who he is.
I mean, something about the half-brother thing might be part of that, but true, I should ask.
Yeah, get to the bottom of it. Do some investigation.
Okay. Yeah, Joe, I'm gonna go do that.
Okay, 1 XP. How would you like to go about doing that? Well, actually, you know what? Let's establish what everyone's doing, and then we'll go about the details. So, you're going to get to the bottom of this. Asena, what are you going to do?
I don't know. I think Hussein is just gonna be like hanging out, maybe looking at the ship, trying to touch it without getting in trouble for touching it.
Vector is very protective of it. Whenever anyone touches it, he sort of winces and is clearly distracted, looking at them with his dysfunctional EMP'd robot eye.
Crazy.
Sorry.
She's gonna be like, I'll keep an eye out.
He scowls at you, and his mechanical arm is also dangling uselessly. I mean, he would look really cool if he hadn't just got fried.
Hey Gastone, how do you do a reverse EMP?
Doesn't really work like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you replace wiring and everything that got burned out.
You just make a new thing.
Yeah, you make a new thing. Exactly. What is John going to be doing during this scene?
Well, initially I was going to be doing exactly what Asena's doing because I wanted to
I stole it.
take this the ship or salvage it rather than just explode it. But since we're looking to repair it, it would be pretty counterintuitive to create more work for Everett by trying to cannibalize the ship right in front of Vector. So I think in a show of good faith, John is going to, during Gastone's talk with his half-brother, John's going to see what he can do about magically repairing the issues that Vector is currently having with his arm and or eye, since it kind of sucks to be... He already is in a crazy handicap, kind of behest of people that he doesn't want to be in the middle of a situation he was just trying to help in, and now is burdened with requesting assistance, not even requesting, kind of having assistance forced on him. John wants to give him a semblance of dignity back, so he's going to try and help fix him.
Okay, cool. All right, now that we know what everybody's doing, let's go ahead and go through. So, Gastone, you've just been confronted by this revelation. You said you wanted to learn more, you wanted to investigate. How are you going about doing that?
I guess because I've never met him, and his clear apprehension to revealing himself, I haven't exactly earned trust yet. So I'm just gonna directly ask him what's his deal.
All right, so
What's your deal, man?
Roll persuasion
what's
check.
your deal? Just something to the tune of, hey man, look, it's been a long day. I would love to question you, methodically, interrogate you almost in a casual setting, but I'm tired. I'm so tired. What's going on, man? I just need to Gastone.
This is a great time for everyone to get their stuff out so that they are ready to go. Okay, an 8.
Sag.
I mean, you basically just did what you described. You're like, so what's your deal? Literally exactly as it sounded. Quincy looks you over, hangs up the phone. It's ringing in the middle of a show. Quincy, aka Vector, looks you over, looks at all the people around, and he clearly not looking to discuss everything at this moment. Uncomfortable, embarrassed, suspicious. Speaks curtly, giving you just the absolute high-level version of things. His father, your father, is not a big part of his life. He was raised separately. He's learned everything there is to know about machines since a very young age, just as a grease monkey, working on planes and cars. And as time went on, he realized that he was uniquely good at math. But not just like running calculations, visualizing math. He could see the air moving around an airplane and see the forces being exerted on it. And he knew where something was going to land the moment it was thrown because he could see visually all the different forces being applied to it. He could calculate the exact precise landing point. That made him an incredible engineer. as time went on and more gifted started appearing throughout the city, he realized that originally he thought he was just uniquely good at math and physics. And then he realized that what he sees and experiences is not something anyone else sees. That's why he took up the secret identity name of Vector, because he is actually gifted.
Oh.
He's been working with a few other close friends in secret to build this prototype in the abandoned hangars at the airfield. He feels a sense of obligation to the citizens of Northport to make things better, but he's also uniquely aware of the Omelon presence and the Omelon threat. So when he started out, he was going to be a crime fighter. He was going to go out and help people, rescue people from disasters and fires and stop them from being mugged in the streets and stuff, but he very quickly got some unwanted attention.
Sounds
from
familiar.
Spies.
Oh, less
Roll
familiar.
an insight check. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you're getting the Cliff's Notes, the quick version of all of this. This is still a public place. There's people coming and going. He's still not comfortable.
What are you gonna do now?
If the ship is repaired, then I have to go into hiding for a little while. If they saw me, if they got a glimpse of the lightning bug, then they're going to be after me soon. They could use that information to track me down, figure out where I am. I should probably move to a different safe house. And I've been working on some other things, and it might be time for me to switch focus. Let the lightning bug go dark for a little while.
What do the Omelons want? Both with you and in general.
He hesitates. He looks over at the ship. War machines, designs, things that they can use to win the war. Flying vehicles that don't have propellers on them. He gestures at the lightning bug.
That's it? What
He's not saying it, but that's not it.
I was gonna say, like, dude, you say they have spies. Do they not watch you?
I've been careful. No, I've been keeping my day job.
Safe
and
for
my,
today.
yeah.
So what you're telling me is that they could be watching us now.
Of course.
Cool. All the more reason to fill me in a little bit, because let's be real here. If they see us together, I'm in this now. So are they. To gesture to the rest.
Mm-hmm.
So, like it or not, we're probably just as involved in this as you are. So, like, a little bit more to work with would be great.
All right. Roll a persuasion check. He mutters darkly, "No, you're not. Not yet. This world is bigger than any of us have ever imagined. I've seen things that none of you would believe. I've been visited."
Try us.
Can't talk about it here, but I've been in... He looks up at the sky, and looks at you and whispers, "Contact. We are not alone in the universe."
You should talk to John one day. But, okay, so... Shit, like, what do
I
you...
didn't design all of this. He looks at the lightning bug.
Okay, well, that I probably could have guessed anyway. Like,
Hey!
Look, I'm sorry, bro. I know we're kin. You're cool with math and all of that stuff, but look at that. Look at that house. Come on.
And that's what they're really after. They know we're not alone in the universe. They know that there are others out there with technology beyond anything that we've ever created, and they want it.
Point of order, not interrupting the scene, but while John's trying to help repair Quincy Jones's stuff, when he starts talking about there's those from the great beyond, and Gastone makes the crack about, oh, you should talk to John. John uses his illusion to temporarily make himself look like that weird mantis 6-arm crazy looking bug thing, and as soon as Quincy would turn to look at him, he goes right back to being John again.
He taps his eye a little bit, and then looks at you suspiciously.
Athena definitely was laughing.
He scowls over at you through one eye, one working eye.
And she's like, looking around, poking around the ship, but definitely paying attention to the conversation and eavesdropping.
Yeah, you'll get used to her.
What's
But
that
yeah,
mean?
I'm building something else. I'm building something that's going to go beyond anywhere the lightning bug could take me.
Why?
What? You say why?
I said why, yeah.
I mean, now that I know that there's life out there, I have to see it.
Hey, fair enough. Wait, so what about the Omelons? This sounds like kind of a pressing matter. I don't know if you could just leave and go adventure across the stars and not have them follow you, mess around.
No, they
maybe kill
can't. They
you.
don't have the tech. Only I have the tech.
Yeah, well, you said spies could be watching us, and looks over at the ship.
That's why I wanted to blow it up.
But then you wouldn't have it anymore.
But neither would they, and that's what really matters.
Fair enough. Is there any chance, the others would ever talk with the Omelons?
I don't think so, but you never truly know.
I hate to break it to you, but I don't think that you need. Oh my god.
What's going
What's going on?
It's the alien!
Message. I don't think that you need. You're not allowed to move.
You can't talk. That's what it is.
I give up. What the?
Imagine speaking.
Never mind.
Imagine it,
I'm over it.
No, wait, just talk. Come on.
I was just gonna tell him that I don't think that you need this fancy ship to go other places.
No, that's.
I mean, John goes all the time.
Okay, John is different. And,
He looks over at the person who was a six-armed, bug-eyed monster a moment ago.
Me?
No. Damn, so where do we go from here?
Well, we get the ship out of their hands so that they can't take it apart, because this is the terrestrial version. This isn't the Traveler. The Traveler's still safe and hidden, but if they could start reversing
Wait,
engineering...
you have a Traveler?
I'm building one.
Oh, you're building one. Okay.
Yes, that's the name of the
No,
But
vessel.
you were given this though, right?
No, I exchanged information, and using the precepts and principles instilled in me, I created this with my own two. One of his mechanical arm flops, like it starts to twitch as you're using your mending cantrips to fix it. It's like hands.
Yeah, but I mean, again, you were given the schematics to complete such a thing, right?
No, I was taught the scientific principles, and then I applied those scientific principles to my own schematics.
Well, there you go. That
Principles, you'd say.
yeah, no, I mean that tracks. That tracks. He learned how to do it, and then he made it. These are all terrestrial objects then made from this. None of this is star stuff.
Correct. This is all built with a box of scraps in a cave by myself.
Yeah. Well, not a box of scraps,
Tony
not a
Stark.
cave, but yeah. Okay. But okay, first of all, I know Gastone decently well, and as far as I know, his parents aren't loaded. Where are you getting the money to build a starship?
That was a good question. But he did also say he is not involved with my father, which also, or with our father actually. We gotta figure that out too. Gotta iron all that out.
I mean,
Yeah, but Quincy, as far as I knew, you're just like you're a shop mechanic, or at least a little more than that, unless that's just one of your many contacts.
I'm an airplane mechanic, and I do odd jobs for people, and I know some good inventors. There's some talented minds here in Northport. I've scraped and scrounged, and, you know, if I had a real budget, I would use different materials, but I worked with what I've got. It's almost ready.
Can I insight this guy? I really feel like he's pushing the ship like he's really almost there, but what he's describing, I mean, this would be an incredibly complicated and costly project, and it sounds like he's just kind of backyard cobbling it together, you know?
Roll an insight check.
Like, I mostly just want to make sure that, yeah, if he's doing it, great, good for him, but it kind of sounds like he's just not blowing hot air, but definitely making it seem like he's farther along than he may actually be.
John, he's coming across as completely sincere.
Okay. How much bigger is it than the Firefly?
It's
Or lightning bug, rather.
It's a small craft. It's definitely larger, but the actual habitable section of the craft is a lot smaller, you see, because of the principles. It's not classic, purely chemically based. There are some energy equivalents and lifting coefficients in it that make it a little bit more efficient, but it couldn't care. I'm designing it for myself, essentially.
But you don't need a crew, exactly. You're not actually building like a large. Let's just say, for instance, like if all 5 of us tried to pile into your ship, it would be an extremely tight fit, right?
Yeah, it would require major modifications. It's
okay. It's a TIE fighter.
What?
It's a single craft. You'd be able to go out and explore at least the stratosphere, if not farther, in single man.
I'm going
craft.
to Mavors.
To where?
Mavors. It's, you know, the fourth planet in our system.
Ah, okay. Why? That's where the people that have contacted you reside?
1, yes, and 2, because it's there.
Yeah, no, obviously. But like, why do you want to go though? Just because it's there?
Yeah, I know it's out there. I have to go see it.
And this trip, are you provisions, time? Who's gonna know that you're here or there? What happens if you get halfway there and run out of fuel? What if you miscalculated?
Then I die a glorious death.
That doesn't seem like you, Quincy Jones. I feel like you'd have a little bit more input about what you're doing. You don't seem like the foolhardy ride and die type.
I don't think you
Wait,
understand the math here. I do. I understand
Obviously.
it perfectly. I'm not going to make a mistake. And
Just
I will
like
have
today.
contingencies.
Just like today.
My math
it
never
seems like fighting a
included an
giant
electromagnetic pulse.
Well, it should have. I mean,
To
if
the-
you've got contingencies and you didn't plan for, you know, an EMP exploding on a giant robot attack at a school full of gifted youngsters, I mean, that doesn't seem like you had much in the... Well, speaking of which, what was your contingency for today? Let's say if everything went horribly wrong fighting this robot. What was your contingency?
Self-destruct.
That's not a good contingency.
Look, it would destroy the technology, get it out of the hands of the Omelons, preserve my secret.
So I hope that your contingency, if you run out of fuel halfway there, isn't just a self-destruct.
No,
It's not
I'll
a fantastic contingency.
probably preserve myself and activate a distress beacon.
You know, this isn't tag. You can't just restart the game when things don't go your way. You
I'm working
really
on
should do a little more
cryogenic
homework.
self-freezing to completely shut down my life functions and put me in suspended animation. And I know that the Mavortians are out there. And I know that they'll be able to find me.
Whoa.
John looks over at Gastone like, "Hey, did your brother get dropped on his head when he was a youngster?"
I
The
never
planet
knew- I
he's
never knew.
describing is real. To the best knowledge of the scientific community, there is no life on it.
Huh.
Okay.
When did they contact you and how?
Sorry, what?
You said, from what I understand, there's no life on that planet, but you say there is.
Yeah,
How did they contact you and why?
They live beneath the surface. Their society is much, much older than ours and much more advanced. They've been in hiding for a very long time. There are other things out there that they're hiding from. But if I can make it to them, if I can make it to their world, I'm going to learn more than I ever could here on this rock.
Wait a minute. You know what? No. Yeah, sure. Go ahead. That's fine. You live on a world full of both magic and science and stuff, but of course you could go off on a likely deserted rock and learn far more than you ever could here. That makes sense.
Wait.
Scoff if you want. You haven't spoken to them. I have.
That's very
How did they speak to you? Can I ask this?
I established communication via radio transmissions at first.
Radio
Their signal was almost undetectable. It was just a strange background pattern, but I calculated it, I decrypted it, and I responded.
How did that get all the way out here?
They've been broadcast. I mean, radio transmissions go forever, as far as we can tell. The technology is relatively young, but it just goes out and out and out. And so it had been broadcasting for a while. And when I responded, they arrived much faster, which indicates to me that they have craft active in orbit around our world that were in a position to intercept the signal.
Wait, so you're telling me they're hiding under the surface, but also have at least somebody watching in this area as well, and nobody's noticed?
Mm-hmm.
Why their secrecy then?
Well, because they maintain they're hiding from whatever they're afraid of out there in the stars, something far vaster than themselves, and they have the technology to conceal their vessels. I guess they're keeping an eye on us to see if we make too much noise and whatever was out there finds us.
I mean, wouldn't it be better if they just told us? Be like, hey, there's this dangerous threat out there. It'd be really cool if you guys didn't bring it here.
This is one of those it might be one of those you don't have to outrun the bear, you just have to outrun the other person sort of thing.
Well, then I imagine at that point they start sabotaging us.
They haven't, as far as I can tell. They were extremely peaceable. They shared information with me. They shared technology with me. It was a highly diplomatic exchange.
And how did this exchange happen, Mr. Jones?
Well, I was out in the field by the mountain. He points out to a mountain outside of town, adjusting my arrays and communicating, when suddenly there was a light in the sky. And their vessel descended. It moved at an impossible rate for any known vehicle. Matt, he literally describes a flying saucer and little green men. Like,
yeah.
Grays, you know, they're like 4 feet tall, bulbous heads, round black eyes, spinning vessels, tractor beams, the works.
Can I insight check to see if it's crazy?
Yeah, you can roll.
You guys, we just got attacked by a giant robot. We're at a school of gifted children. I might be a Dargan, and we're worried that he might be crazy.
No. Here's the thing, Asena, and it's not. We've been through some crazy stuff. I've traveled the cosmos, and this doesn't sound outlandish. The way he's describing it sounds outlandish. This sounds like a plant. This sounds like there's something trying to get us to think that this guy's crazy. Because why wouldn't they just come out right and tell him? It seems way too, reliquary radio progress, the aliens are attacking, tinfoil hat kind of stuff. Actually, if this guy had a tinfoil hat, that EMP never would have rocked his ship like it did nowadays. You might want to think into some kind of shielding, bucko. You're a little too crazy on the outside and not enough freaky on the inside. You know what I mean?
Gastone, roll a science check. Actually, a tinfoil hat would just magnify and act as an antenna that would increase the reception of the mind-controlled rays, so technically it's a terrible idea.
Wait, tinfoil defends against EMPs, though. So does
does
trash can lids. Yeah.
Trash can lids.
Because it acts as a conductor. It comes in and it gets absorbed by that and it covers it up.
Like a Faraday cage. Okay, well,
yeah.
All right, then the math is solid, but the tinfoil
I
hat
looked
thing
it up on Google before saying it. You damn it.
it doesn't work for the mind control rays. I just want to get that out there.
Google is all knowing.
Gastone, you can't get a good read on him. He seems very earnest.
Can I investigate the ship while I'm like around, like see if I find anything interesting?
Absolutely. Roll an investigation check.
Okay. I'm not very good at this though. Where'd it go?
You got this. The punch of our 1-2 punch is looking at stuff.
That's what she does.
It's funny how that happens. Oh shit.
Hey!
So you should not have had the advantage,
Yeah, sorry.
but in that case, we just take the first roll, which was a 16.
Nice.
Oh, that's not so bad.
All right, a couple things catch your eye. First off, the outer layer of the ship is covered with this very strange, almost porcelain, black matte light absorbing material, and it's covered in all these tiles. And each tile, when you look at it up close, it looks completely flat at a distance, but when you get closer, it's a very intricate pattern of, it almost looks like knots of different fibers all woven around on each other, and it gets more, it's a fractal pattern that gets more complicated the closer you look at it. So you've got these tiles, and then the power source of the ship, it's sort of built around this big rotating thing that emanates light, which is why it's called the lightning bug. And the outer area of that, the containment for that has shattered, and the glass around it, have you ever seen lighthouse lanterns, how they have that very rippled thick glass around them? The glass is like that, and it is slightly glowing. So you
The
could
glass is slightly glowing.
The glass is slightly glowing. So you could absolutely grab one of those things.
Ooh. I definitely want to check out that tile. Like, Asena's just entranced by this design and probably like getting real close to it.
Well, it broke on impact. There's little chunks of it. So you can
Okay.
actually pocket one of these little chunks.
Yeah. Let's
Alright.
do that.
And mate, just to clarify, the outside of the ship is not like plating. It's actually like interwoven, like
It is
like fibers.
plating, but the plating is made up of these individual tiles, like heat tiles on the space shuttle, right? But
Okay.
but these tiles themselves, when you look at them, not even with a microscope, they look like that interwoven fractal pattern, almost as if
Okay.
it's a mesh of a dark black substance that has been compacted and pressed into a single solid
Yeah.
object.
Okay.
But
Gotcha.
the original pattern is still there. You'd say it's almost like carbon nanotubes from your time.
That's what I was gonna ask. That's
Yeah.
what it kind of sounds like. That's what we're going with, which also kind of sounds like how Gastone makes his crazy fabric reacts responder suits.
Mhm. Yeah, he's got the jump on that technology. At that
Yeah,
moment,
she's gonna
Go ahead.
like she's gonna take a piece and just be completely entranced by it.
Okay. Is she
And
like
you
being
see it.
quiet, like stealthy about it, or is she pretty obvious?
No, it's obvious. She's just like, whoa.
Wow.
All right. As you're having that
Wow.
conversation, Vector will look at you and say, "Hey, put that down. It's mildly toxic."
What is toxic?
Bad. I think you should put it down.
Mildly.
She's gonna put it like behind her back like this. And just sort of like walk away, but she is not putting it down.
He scowls
Man.
suspiciously. Were you saying something?
I was just saying, I know you have a very well-built constitution, but if he's right and that's toxic, I don't think you should hold it.
Mate, is it toxic?
Roll a science check. Or an insight
Oh,
check.
I was mostly, yeah, I was going for insight. Yeah.
Roll an insight check. He's being earnest,
Okay.
but it is probably mildly toxic.
Oh, can I roll a science check to see if it's actually toxic?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Go science.
Go, science, go.
All right, don't eat it. Don't inhale like large amounts of dust. So if the ship exploded, you wouldn't want to like inhale the dust. And if you handle it for too long, you're probably going to break out in hives.
I see.
So it's not,
Really?
lethal unless you just snort the stuff.
I was
John
gonna lick it.
takes out a
Please don't lick it.
like a little clear plastic bag and gives it to Asana.
Now you have a plastic
Yeah.
bag and a black tile.
What's this
There.
for?
Oh,
Shit.
put the toxic substance. John air quotes
Oh.
toxic. Put the toxic thing in the bag, and you should be okay. You can still look at it. It'll be just like if it was outside.
She'll do that
All right.
with a side eye.
Where are we coming, by the way, with his eye and arm repairs? Are they?
It's starting to come back online. You are making good progress with your magic repair spells. But at that moment, two things happen. One, Haura returns. She is upset.
Yeah.
Yes. Newly upset. She looks grim, concerned, serious. Different appearance than she was when she left the room.
Like literal different appearance or just visage difference?
Just like her expression is different.
Didn't change clothes or nothing.
No, she walks in like short steps, just very square, straight on, moving quickly, very serious expression. Something's wrong. Two, we actually did have an act of God, so whose turn is it?
Yep.
Oh,
I did it
God.
last time. I think it's Asena, but it might be Gastone.
I think it's my turn.
All right, go ahead
Sure.
and draw a card from the act of God deck.
Draw. One card. Okay.
And
where'd
throw
go?
it down right on top of the lightning bug.
And when she steps in, I'm gonna move past stop healing Quincy and move over to kind of be the first person to intercept her.
All right.
And I pushed the wrong button.
Did you just pass
No,
it to
I-
Gastone?
I just gave it to Gastone.
I clicked steal, and
She was like, okay.
Oh, is that? It said let it go. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. It basically was
Okay,
accepting the
I let it
steal.
go. Wait, now John has it. I thought it was.
Damn it.
Okay,
Somebody
now,
throw
now,
this
now,
thing
now,
down.
now, Pod, steal it. I'll let it go, and you can have it back now.
Yeah, perfect.
Steal
Oh,
card.
there we go. Let it go. There we go.
Perfect.
All right, go for
right.
it.
Drag it on top of the ship.
Gastone, you trying to steal it?
A friend in
Can you-
need is why heroes have secret identities. A friendly NPC requires assistance.
Ooh, that's a lot of possibilities.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
possibilities.
Complication.
All right, DM, is it going to be this weird aliens half brother of Gastone's? Is it going to be? Well, I don't know if I'd call Haura friendly. Nancy Ray. We got a
NPC.
lot of possibilities.
Asana got the draw. So Asana, pick an NPC.
Ooh.
Any NPC?
Yeah, any NPC.
Oh God.
Any friendly NPC.
Yeah, someone at least somewhat friendly.
Oh, Philip.
Oh God.
You're gonna bring Philip back.
Ah.
Philip?
Who's
Yeah.
Philip again?
You don't want Philip? We don't
No,
have
Carrington.
Thank you.
Oh.
I don't know why I forgot.
to. You're
about-
like, who is this person?
I don't know why I
Well,
forgot
because
about
we
Philip
always call-
Carrington.
We always call him Philip Carrington. So when you use the first name
Yeah,
of just
like,
Philip,
just-
we're that close. We're like, who the hell's Philip?
Yeah.
He's my
Okay.
baby brother.
He's nothing without his last name. Oh yeah, you're right. He is her
I
baby
mean,
brother.
he is a Carrington,
I mean-
you know?
Actually, yeah, he's your actual kind of maybe brother. We found
Well,
out.
we don't know because
Yeah.
in the pictures there was a couple of young girls.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, but we confirmed from her experience that she was. Oh God, Eleanor. What was the name of the
Well, if I'm not
deceased?
related to them, then I'm related to Opal. I'm
Yeah,
just
you're
gonna stick
either-
with them.
It's either the Donahues or the Carringtons. Either
Oh,
way.
we got a confirmation in the dream. Didn't we get a confirmation of who she inhabited?
I feel like we did, but
I don't
Yeah,
think
no, I
so.
think you did. I think you did
Oh.
because I think that you
I
asked
thought it
her
was his
her
young
name.
sister.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
asked her
Yeah,
her
yeah,
name. So
yeah.
yeah, you know
And it was
for
like
sure.
Elizabeth or Eloise, or it was an E name, I thought.
Yeah, no. You know for sure that your original identity was a Carrington, and Nancy's original identity was a Donahue.
Was it Donahue? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So they're
that's
both
nailed down.
sisters from other misters, but like not, you know.
All right, so Here's how we're going to.
Why
do
is
this.
everyone half brothers in some weird way in this game?
I
It's a
guess we're
19
not related.
It's a
Who am I
pulp
related to?
It's a pulp story. Like this whole
It has
universe,
to be.
this universe literally runs on this logic.
It's like a what do you call it? It's like a telenovela in here.
Yeah, like 1930s pulp adventure stories. It literally runs on that logic, which is why aliens that actually look like, classic flying saucer
Martians,
aliens.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's outlandish sounding, but entirely plausible.
Oh
All
yeah.
right. So, let's do this thing. Haura walks into the room, clearly serious. She's looking at Gastone. She's about to speak to Gastone when she enters, and it's no mistake when she enters the room. Vector's arm actually sort of sparks and twitches for a moment, and you can feel your hair start to rise, like the static electricity in the room is literally increasing. Haura walks in and is making her way towards Gastone when John intercepts. What do the three of you do?
John's just gonna inquire as to what's the issue, but kind of in a lower. Is this a private problem, or can this be addressed to the whole room, kind of a deal?
She glances over at Vector and she gives an inquisitive eye to the three of you. Looks over at him, then looks searchingly at the three of you.
Asena puts the little tile away real quickly. Like very much like I have nothing, I'm not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
John asks, "Do you trust Everett?"
She nods.
John throws an illusionary field over Quincy. That's just a static buzz. He can create illusionary sounds and stuff, so he's literally just dropping a field of just on top
All
of
right.
Quincy.
Well, he doesn't have a robotic ear, so he's confused about how he just developed tinnitus, but... All right. Asena looks over at Gastone and says, "It's Florence."
What about her?
The EMP did something when she was in the pod.
Shit.
It's accelerated the process, that jolt of electricity. We're in danger
The
of losing her.
process?
Yes. Her discorporation, her power is taking over her body. It's accelerated it.
Does the pot not work anymore?
It's working, but it's holding back. The pressure up against it just spiked. I don't know how long it's going to hold. We need to go.
Okay.
What about him?
Who? She looks over. What, him?
Mr. Buzz, yeah.
Yeah, like, can we just leave him here?
You get the impression that Haura barely cares about him. Doesn't know where he came from, isn't one of her students, crashed into her house, yelled about blowing up his ship, non-factor, doesn't give a crap.
John does kind of interject. He was trying to help. Though ineffectual as he may be, he was well-intentioned.
What do you
If you
want?
don't care, I mean, like, I'm fine leaving. This was just far where you were concerned, but if you're not, then you can go.
Yeah, is there a problem? She gestures at him again.
No,
He's
I
not
don't think
much of a
so.
threat.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna walk over to him.
I turn off the
The-
field for a moment. Yeah.
Right. Shoot, what was his name? Quincy?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, all right, Quincy, listen. Emergency kind of came up. I need to leave right now. Is there a way I can contact you? Are you good to deal with this by yourself?
Can I trust these people? He looks over at Everett and at Haura, squinting suspiciously.
Yeah, they're pretty trustworthy. I mean, Hara's coming with us, for one thing, and she looks at everybody like that, so...
Look, I'll contact you.
I want to roll insight to see if he's lying.
Roll insight. Asana, roll perception.
Okay.
Oh, I almost got a 20. I'm so cheesed.
Yeah, you can't get a read.
Okay.
Hey, mate.
Yes?
While I was over there repairing him, could I have just, like, sleight of hand, like, just an item off his person?
Yeah. What do you want to have grabbed?
While I was fixing his eye, I tore off a piece of hair.
Okay.
What?
Were you a witch?
Kind of.
Yes, I'm a wizard.
All right.
John, with his amazing passive perception, could probably hear some of that, and he sends a message to Gastone. Don't worry, we can find him if we need to.
Fair enough. Okay, let's go.
All right. Asana, as that conversation is happening, you see Haura looking over at you piercingly. And with a 20 on your perception, she's looking at you. She's looking down at the dragon tooth around your neck, searchingly. It's not judgy, but it's in the same, like, sector, if that makes sense.
Okay.
All right.
Asena's gonna raise her eyebrow at her. Just, oof. She's gonna ask her. She's gonna be like, yes?
God, how does she respond to that? Oh, I know how she responds. She just says, what?
What?
Precisely.
She'll just nod and leave it at that.
All right. Excellent.
Mate, John's also gonna pick up a piece of the ship for good measure.
All right. So you grab a piece of toxic. You grab another toxic square.
I'd rather take a tile, but yeah.
The tiles are the toxic things.
Oh, I thought you said the glass was toxic.
No, the glass is glowing. Nobody's messed with the glass. The black tiles are toxic.
Oh, I'll take a piece of glass.
All right.
piece of
You
glowing
now
glass.
have a piece of glowing glass that is hopefully not radioactive. Add that to your inventory.
Do you
Horace-
need a plastic bag?
Oh, I got one covered. John pulls out a little Ziploc and just tosses it in, zips it back up, puts it back in the briefcase.
All right.
Thanks for the offer, though. Appreciate it, Senna.
Once everyone's got.
She did not have a plastic bag to give you.
I thought you were going to give me yours.
Haura rounds everybody up when that's done and says, I'll have Opal deal with this. John.
Hmm?
I need the key.
We're going to have to... Look, I get it. We have to do this. Florence is more important than any kind of beef we have going on, but I'm not just going to give it to you. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to go on this excursion, and you and I can work out the kinks of this agreement. But I'm not just handing anything over. We'll figure it out, though. All right?
I think we can figure it out right now.
Okay. What are you thinking?
But a blank slate. Wipe it clean.
Why don't you tell me what that means?
What do you think it means?
I think it means you want whatever it is that you've been asking for me, and somehow that's gonna allow you to forgive everything that happened between us.
Yes.
Okay, and what does that slate entail? Are we back to being partners? Are we just not screwing over Carmichael and Carmichael anymore? Are we going to be sharing notes? What does that entail?
Let's say treating each other like each other. You for who and what you're worth, and me for who and what I'm worth. Past
All of you
erased.
for who and what you're worth?
Hmm?
All of you?
Yes.
So not just Haura is going to wipe the slate clean, but so is Akavisian?
She needs your help too.
And all that's going to take is giving you the key.
No. I want the key.
Okay.
We're going to get what we need to help Florence. And then we're going to go home. And you're going to help me finish what I left undone there.
You mean that quest you were on when we bumped into each other? Okay, deal. But I gave you the key when we complete your quest.
No, I kind of need that now, but you can have it back. Look, she looks
Wait,
at
so
the
I'm
other...
just lending? You just want me to lend you the key?
Yeah, sure. She looks at the other two, not excluding John from this, and says, here's what we're going to do. Each of you make whatever preparations you need, get whatever you need, and meet me at the museum. That's where I need the key.
Okay. Mate, I'd like to... Is she telling the truth?
Roll insight. As far as you can tell, she's being completely sincere. There's not even the normal abrasiveness, the edge that is in every word that she shares with you. That's not there.
That's the thing I'm worried about, exactly.
There's tension, but this is the first time she's spoken to you without venom in her voice in a while.
That's what I mean. So that's the thing that's throwing me. Is, as far as I can tell, this isn't an act. What she's doing right now seems to be on the level.
Yeah.
Ah, crap. Okay. Yes, fine. Fine.
All right. Museum. God. 4 hours. 4 hours.
Okay, we'll be ready. And, Haura. John holds out his hand. You were great out there today. You really excelled at being a teacher, I can tell. A mentor of sorts. You really care for these people. Nice job.
She hesitates. She'll take your hand. She doesn't really respond. She just gives a nod in response. And that sort of carries over after she looks John in the eye. She looks over to Asena and Gastone and tips her head. Just the slightest shade of impressed.
All right, let's go.
All right. So, does anyone have anything they want to do here aside from Haura's gonna talk to Opal and have Opal get Vector and his shit stashed up, repaired, and out of their hair. But Haura wants everybody go back to your homes, get your supplies, get a nap, and then meet me at the museum. Does anybody have anything else they wanted to take care of while you were still here?
Not here, for me.
No, not here.
All right. Were you about to say something, Pots?
I was muted.
I get 1 XP.
Let's go.
Were you saying something, though?
I don't have anything to do here.
Okay.
Besides telling John, hey, maybe now you and Opal could.
Oh,
No.
son of a gun.
Oh my god, that is a throwback. I forgot.
Maybe she just won't be mad at you anymore. You know?
That's entirely possible, but there's still the issue of Mr. Carrington, as you recall.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of which, as you're making your way out, Phillip Carrington's car screams up
Whoa.
the front steps. And he gets out, and he is disheveled.
It's a Chrysler, right?
Yes. Well,
If it's screaming up, a Chrysler.
Kill him!
that brand doesn't exist in this universe anyways.
Unfortunate.
Opal with her hat, Haura just went up to her office, and she shared a few brief words with Opal and went up to her office. She's preparing for an expedition, leaving this world behind for a while. So she went upstairs. Opal is managing everybody. All right, we need disaster recovery. The press is going to be on their way. The police are going to be on their way. I will handle the press. I will handle the police. You, and you go clean this up. Get medical over here. Like, she's coordinating the whole thing. When Phillip tears up the driveway and gets out of the car, he's sweating. He's holding his hat in one hand. His tie is just all over the place. His shirt is wrinkled. For incredibly blue-blooded, socialite level stuff, he is quite disheveled.
John inwardly smirks.
He runs up. He's making his way towards Opal, but then he sees the three of you, and he diverts to you instead.
Oh.
You have to help me. I don't know who else I can go to.
What's wrong?
It's
Something's
my
wrong.
grandfather.
Who's your grandfather?
Oh, Aliosis.
Yes,
What's wrong with him?
he's gone.
Like, he died?
No, I think he's been kidnapped.
By aliens?
Don't worry about that. By who?
I don't know. But whoever they were, they knew where to find his inner sanctum. They knew where to find his books of the occult.
Oh,
Was there a
specific?
break-in?
Does he have enemies?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to start naming some names?
Josiah Parsons, Ralzamon, Master of the Unknown.
Okay, but we killed a lot of his minions.
But not everyone.
Oh, why now?
Okay, but why would he target Aliosis, though? I mean, I know Aliosis is an occultist, but other than his... Wait. We know that your family is involved with more than just mysteries and stuff. I mean, you guys were being... You had a patron that was a literal evil ghost. So was there more about Aliosis that you weren't describing initially? What has he gotten into?
I found him looking at books of channeling and immortality. I think he might have read from an ancient book, and I think he just left after that. I think he
Well,
kidnapped
where would he
himself.
What?
I think he's possessed. I think Ralzamon is possessing him.
Oh,
Yeah, that
is
tracks.
Yeah, you should have
so
led with that.
Convenient.
You've destroyed all of his other anchors into the city. The only other possible way he could project his energy here is through somebody who knew the proper rites and rituals.
Okay, well, we should be able to track him down. Get your fancy car. Let's head back to... You need to show us the scene of where he last was, so that way we can try and figure this out. Although, that being said, we don't have a whole lot of time, Phillip.
Yeah, do you think we could get this done in
leaving
4
town
hours?
for a bit.
In 4 hours? I have no idea.
Give us a moment. Guys,
Tell us on the way. Guys.
wait, no, guys, let's just really quick over there.
Huddle.
Yeah, quick little team huddle. Out of earshot, of course. So do you guys care? I feel like I don't care.
What do you know? That's her fake family. Of course she cares.
Yeah,
but
it's my
the
baby
Carringtons.
big
They're-
family.
Ugh.
I mean, first of all, I agree about the son. Here's the thing. Aliosis and I, we kind of go back a little ways. Look, long story short, he hired me to go on an expedition, and I traveled halfway across the world over to the Zopian jungles, and I got involved in some pretty hefty shit, and I brought him back a not-so-special artifact. Hopefully, doesn't have anything to do with this, but honestly, I thought the guy was just a magical fanboy. He didn't seem to possess any weird or obvious powers. I did my research, I checked out his estate. Mostly anything he had was only mildly magical. Reliquaries of sorts, nothing of any real power. So either he's come into something very recently, or yes, Ralzamon possessed him and is using him as his new wheelie box of sorts, a vessel with which to terrorized the world since he was banished to the jungles of Zoquia. By us. So if we don't stop him or figure out at least where to tail him, he's going to be a thorn in our side should we ever come back here again. Or if we're gone, he's going to take all that anger and pent-up aggression and unleash it upon Northport. We can't leave this place worse than we left it.
Counter
Leave this
argument.
place worse than we left. Yeah.
No,
Anyway.
you said it right. Counter argument. If we help Florence and get her on our side, I feel like we'll have a very strong ally. And it will also help that I no longer have to constantly deal with whatever is going on with that pod she is stuck in. But, also, of course, want to help her. Helping people is cool. I feel like it's almost a long shot in a sense, but if we can get her good to go, if we can talk to Opal about, letting us borrow some of the super kids, like Extra. Love that guy. Quirk. Mwah.
I agree.
Oh,
but I
now
doubt
you
they're
want to bring the kids with us.
I doubt they're going to loan their students onto us to fight crime.
But
How's the
maybe they'll do it
turntables?
to the people who saved their school.
Yes. Okay, so here's the thing. Remember, I am actually in possession of a detective agency. So while we go gallivanting
you
off
are.
on this trip, as long as we could do the prep work, all we need to do is get some information for Grim and for Charlie, and the two of them will be able to go off and see what they can figure out. That way when we come back, the legwork is done, and we can just solve the problem once they can point us in the right direction. But we need to be able to get that key information. We've got 3 hours and 57 minutes with which to make sure that we can finish off what's going on here. It'll take us an hour to go investigate the scene of the crime and then point our boys in the right direction.
Here is my offer to you, the party.
Is this you or Philip?
This is the dungeon master.
Okay.
If
Because I was about to shut Philip down like crazy.
I thought he was listening to us the whole
Uh-huh.
time, and it's
no, this is a huddle. He's busy frantically telling Opal what's happened while she's trying to solve a crisis. Here is my offer to you, the dungeon master.
Okay.
I am offering you each a cinematic long rest. Meaning that if you go straight back to your base, whichever your base is, Asena's lair, Gastone's lab, John's office, if you go straight back there and then go straight to the museum, the action of packing up whatever you need for your excursion, being at home, looking at the things that give your life meaning, having a little interlude of your own, grabbing a snack, will give you the benefits of a long rest.
Okay.
Oh.
If you spend that time investigating the scene of the Lucius Carrington's disappearance, you will not get these benefits. And you are going through the portal directly into another world. Well, where maybe John and Haura have some idea of what you're going to encounter, but who knows what's out there. It'd be a lot better to face that with all your gear, all your items, etc. So, it's up to you. Now, you do have many NPC allies you've made throughout the city who you might be able to get to help. Who you ask to help you, who you can get a hold of in this short period of time, is going to determine the outcome of what happens while you're gone. So, the choice is yours. Do you want the long rest before you go into the science fiction universe, into another world? Or do you want to... How do you want to handle this?
Well, honestly,
I'm fine.
are you okay?
I think Asena's just staring off into the void right now.
Understandable. I don't know. I think the Carringtons can lick Gastone's balls.
So here's the thing.
You.
First of all, ew.
You're holding a toxic tile that you're probably gonna lick. You don't get to ew me. I wish I could see your face at that comment. Ugh. Doesn't feel as gotcha, you know?
BRB.
Okay.
But here's the thing. last time we saw the Carringtons, they wanted little to nothing to do with us. They were extremely pissed. Even though we had saved them, we did it in a fashion that made them not want to be very trusting of us. If we did this favor for the Carringtons, this would put us well and truly back in their good graces. So that means by the end of this little brouhaha, John would be back in Haura's good graces and back in the Carringtons' good graces, which would put him back in Opal Donahue's good graces, which he doesn't... Contrary to popular belief within the party, he doesn't really care about her in that regard. However, her school and everything involved with it is a major boon to have, as well as her influence. This would put Carmichael back on the market. Likewise, John has had dealings with Aliosis Carrington, and while he's not exactly a friend, he is definitely a valuable acquaintance. So, here's my thought. If we do not accomplish it ourselves, which I don't think we should definitely go gallivanting off to try and save him, what we should definitely do is at least put our allies on the case. We have both the police force, which Nancy Ray knows us a favor for helping her. We also have both Grim, or Ben, as you'd like, and Charlie from Carmichael and Carmichael. The two of them, or those two groups, would be able, as long as we can point them in the right direction, would be able to start working on this in our interim of being off portal hopping. So I think we should at least do that. Promise, Carrington, that as soon as we return from this very dire mission, which it is, we're saving a young girl's life, we'll return and do our best to try and track down and save his grandfather. Until then, we'll have the best on the force and the budding agents of Carmichael and Carmichael pursuing leads. Does that sound all right for everyone?
Okay.
Sure.
Should we...
How long are we gonna be gone? You don't know.
That depends.
So, magically speaking, to the best of John's knowledge and Haura's knowledge, time is going to move at an equivalent pace. So it's 1 to 1. It's not temporal weirdness. We can explain more of the mission. The mission is, in brief, go to this world, find a deadly cult of assassins that has completely vanished, and get access to their shadow armor technology. Leave that world, go to another world, help Haura resolve an issue of her own on that world, return home. Estimated travel time, completely unknown. Depends on how long it takes for everyone to be found.
My estimation, considering that, as far as I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, Gastone, we are going back to Dragon in order to make sure that we can collect some scientific material that you need to save Florence. Is that right?
Yes.
Was there anything else aside from getting the proper tech that we needed from this place?
No.
Because we can always explore later on, but we know that for Haura, she needs me to go back to Pyrosol with her to help her with her quest. Which, honestly, I don't know what she wants with those Nagas. We'll have to kind of cross that bridge when we come to it.
Sure.
But I know that as long as we can likely speak with the Exarchate, although honestly, I'm not sure how stabilized they are since our last engagement, but we should be able to find the tech needed. So I don't think it should take more than a couple of days that we'll be gone. So that should be just enough time for Carmichael and the best of the brass in order to go out and get what we need. So when we come back, we can finally, hopefully, resolve this issue with the Carringtons and rouse them on once and for all.
Sounds good to me.
And maybe we'll have better things when we come back.
Yes.
Yes.
Gastone's gonna have a heyday here. Now, here's the thing, Gastone. The whole jumping from portal to portal and going around the different worlds, that is not a typically normal practice. So this is going to be going without saying, and we'll do a whole briefing before it actually happens, but I need you guys to be on your best behavior and kind of try as best as you can to blend in. You understand?
I'm really good at that. Mm-hmm.
I know you're exceedingly good at that.
And she is a ninja after all.
She is a ninja after all.
Of course.
But yeah, there's going to be a lot of very interesting things that we're going to be encountering, but of particular interest to you, Gastone. You're going to just remember to stay on task and know that if anything is ticking boxes for you, we can make a note of it and we can always return. But I definitely have quite a few people, I think. I have one person in particular that I want you to meet. I think you two will get along swimmingly.
Oh, cool.
Actually, she's the one who made my phone, and John pulls out his spell book phone, smartphone dealio.
Ooh.
So you'll be able to go to the original creator of this tech. That'll be interesting for everyone.
I'm okay with this plan, but I obviously want to help my brother and my somehow grandfather person. I don't know.
I think you'd like him. He's a little more mystically inclined than the rest.
Well, that's exciting.
I think he would likely like you as well.
So, you want to ring up Nancy Rain, and then John, while you're back at Carmichael and Carmichael, brief your assistants and get them on the case?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Can
Nancy's
we just
gonna-
have... here's my thought. Could we just have Carrington go back to Carmichael and Carmichael, get them, bring them back to the place, and then have Nancy Rain meet them there?
Yeah.
I don't think I need anything from Carmichael and Carmichael.
Okay. Roll persuasion check.
For Carrington?
Yeah.
Yes, I'll do that thing.
All
Could
right.
this be modified by the fact that we came up with a good plan and we actually discussed a good plan and not just me rolling a die to convince him?
Yeah. Basically what this is about is the fact that like he was hoping to have you guys on the case, but you have this urgent thing you have to do, and so he's like fretting
We
about
explained
it.
with him in all seriousness that a young girl's life is on the line.
Mhm. All right. So
He's in the queue. He's important. All calls are important, but please wait while we address the previous issue before we get to yours, kind of a thing.
yeah. How would you feel about it if the logic was completely sound, but it was still your family on the line? Like you
Absolutely.
right? So that's how he feels. He still he accepts it, but he's like fuck wrenched over this. All right. Let's go one by one. Gastone, what preparations are you making?
Oh God. Not choking for one thing.
Good idea.
Thank you. So I think the only thing I really need to do on like a personal level is like go home. I use the flash on my suit, so I need to make sure that's all good to go. I need more of my consumables, I guess is the short way to put it. That's about it.
So Gastone gets back, takes out all of his gadgets, the things he's dismantled to make the EMP, starts reassembling things,
Oh God, yeah.
runs around the workshop, pulling off pieces and bits from all over the place, walking past the robotic assistant that he's still working on that isn't complete yet. Just like
One day, buddy.
winding up and recharging his shock charges, gathering things. So that's how he like gears up, but is there anything he does just to prepare himself for the fact that he's leaving this universe behind?
It's a great question. If this may shock and awe you, but Gastone has never left this universe before. He's barely left town, so he's not really sure what he could really do here. I feel like
Shower?
locking down the lab makes sense. You know what? Showering would be good. I'm gonna lock down the lab also, just cause I got stuff here I don't need people to see.
The only person who's been able to get past your defenses so far is the White Ghost, and that's, she's the White Ghost, so.
Yeah, she's kind of ghosted me, so I think we're good.
All right. John, you're not going back to Carmichael and Carmichael. How are you spending your cinematic rest?
I do a few things. John, first of all, is going to ask if the rest of the group wants to meet at Wound one last time before we head off. After everything else is already done, it'll be like our last meal here in Northport for a bit.
Ominous.
Ominous.
Hopefully not that ominous, jeez. So as long as they agree to that, John knows that he has a time limit for the rest of his activities, but for his short rest, or his cinematic rest, John is going to... There's the giant robot, even though it was defeated, is still on the grounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
John disintegrates it.
Okay.
I didn't get to use it during the fight, so to help with the cleanup, John's going to disintegrate the giant
A
Xorbot.
ray of green light emanates from his finger and just starts turning things into dust.
Aside from that, John is going to spend the rest of his time. And can you take me to the main map, please, just for a moment?
Yes. I'm being bathed and groomed by my cat, so my mobility is limited.
No problem. Okay, here we go. So John spends the next few hours proccing his fly spell and just literally making a pass starting in Greenville where they are, and he just moves around over the Kugel River, flies over the studio district, and just makes a pass here around Northport until they... Or actually, he'll go this way since they're going to meet at Wound. He's going to go to the east side, knowing north, and then finally ending up at Wound. And he's just going to kind of spend the next few hours just taking in Northport. He's hoping this is going to be a one-and-done trip, but this has been kind of the most peaceful place he's visited, despite its ups and downs, since he has been on this adventure. And so he's just kind of taking in an actual modern world before heading back into the insanity that is Dragon and other places.
All right. How's Asena preparing?
So she, after apologizing to Phillip, by the way, because she feels really bad that he feels bad about it. She will head home. I don't think she's gonna meet up. Yeah, she's not gonna meet up with you guys at Wounds.
No?
No.
Oh, interesting.
She's like, as much as she is excited to go, she like feels kind of bad about not doing Phillip's thing, but she's not gonna like, I don't know. She just wants to be on her own for a little while. So she'll go home. She's definitely gonna try on the crown and the whip and try to find out like which coat of hers looks best with this outfit. Kind of like paraded around.
Awesome.
Yeah, she'll eat on her own and just ready up. Maybe she'll do some stretches.
Just limber up.
Yeah.
All right. Does Gastone meet John at Wound?
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
All right. It's just the two of you.
No, there's three of us. John creates an illusionary Asena.
Does Gastone know it's an illusion?
Yeah, no, Gastone, I think Gastone and John sit down, and since usually Asena's the one that sparks the conversation, I think Gastone and Gastone are just sitting there enjoying their meal, maybe a little bit of talking here and there, and then John's like, yeah, that's a little weird, and just snaps his fingers, and just a illusionary Asena appears, and he just has her saying just stuff on repeat, just normal, like, hey, do you think there's a Dargon in the bathroom? Hey, look at that shiny thing over there. Like, he's just having her, like, things that she said in the past, he's just having her on repeat, just talking.
Cut the bullshit and tell us what we want to know.
Yeah, exactly. Cut the bullshit. No.
Oh, man.
All right. Tell me about the meal. Does anything else go down?
I think we just laugh about stuff we've done, personally. Especially once Asena says, cut the bullshit and tell us what we want to know. Because I just can't, both Gastone and Beatdown literally cannot fathom how wrong that went. He tried so hard to just give her one thing to do. I
think, yeah, both John and Gastone just kind of start reminiscing about this last hectic week that they all went from not knowing each other to being acquaintances to now being friends that'll throw each other's life on the line for each other. Just, it's been a crazy series of events. John like points over at the restroom where Gastone and John were squished into the stall. Just points out different things that they've done. And
wow.
John's a little forlorn right now. John does not like the idea of being kind of pushed into this.
Does John express that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
John is going to tell Gastone, I was kind of hoping the two of you were going to be here for this, but there's something about Haura that you guys really need to hear. And I'm a little bit remiss in mentioning it because it's her thing. You know, I don't want to go spilling out her laundry all over the place. You know, she takes care of her business how she wants. But I feel like it's gone on a bit too long. She's had plenty of opportunities to share with you what she's able to do and why she's a scary... Okay, you ever notice like when you walk into a room and it feels like you're looking at a bear instead of looking at a person when she stares
Yeah.
at you. And I don't mean like, it's not like she's an incredibly huge, imposing person. I mean, like, yeah, she's, you know,
I mean,
physically-
no, she's literally also made like animal sounds.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, you're right. I've seen those things.
And there's a reason for that. There's a reason why I'm so careful around her, why I don't trust her implicitly. There's a reason why she's careful around me and doesn't trust me either. And John kind of pulls Asena in close as he's like kind of getting a little bit more hushed at this point. I'm just gonna come out and say it. Haura's a Dargan.
I'm sorry. You're obviously chewing on steak right now. And once you're done, I'm gonna need you to say that again.
John finishes chewing his steak, takes a big, long, just drink of his water,
I'm just
Doesn't slam
staring
it.
intently.
sets it down on the table, looks Gastone dead in the eye. Haura's real name is Akafisian, and she is an incredibly powerful blue dragon in human disguise.
Thank you everyone for joining us. Tune in next week when Chapter 2 of Coriander Society Adventures kicks off. Have a fantastic night, everybody.
What the f?